So we're next going to explore how to interact using text with the end user. This corresponds of reading and writing values. If you look at the API that's offered by Sedgwick, we see in the standard in class many different methods which we'll find useful. For example, the isEmpty method is going to tell us whether there's anything even left to be read in the input stream. We have to know what it is we're going to read. Are we reading an integer or a double value, a long or a Boolean? And for each of those different types of data we care to read, there's a corresponding method in the API that processes the next bit of input as if it were that type. So if I know I'm expecting an integer, say I'm reading in the number of cards in a deck, I would use readInt to process that as an integer and read it in. Now, if the input stream didn't have a number, say 52, as the next characters in the input, and instead had the word Fred, then the readInt method is going to fail and the program is going to stop. So we have to be aware of what's in the input stream and how we intend to read it in order to be able to use these methods. But for anything we care to read, we can read it using one of the methods you see here in the API. The API also gives us methods of printing, but Java also gives us that with the printline method we've already seen so far. So while you're welcome to use the print methods built into standard out, there's really no special reason why you have to do so. You can use what you already know to print information out. If you want to change the manner in which input is directed, so instead of having the user type in the input, let's say you want the input to come from a file, we provided something called args processor, which you've used previously, and there's a method call on it called useStandardInput, and you give it the file name, and then from that point on, the input would come from that particular file. And it actually opens up a dialog with the end user so the user can pick which file he or she wants the data to come from.